She's one of the few IBM hired out of grade school, so.
But congratulations. This is our token gift from the corporation.
Thank you.
And a number of people have written letters and told stories about Michelle.
There's a lot of them.
What did you select, Michelle?
Repeatable.
I haven't selected anything. I'm going to select jewelry because I don't have anybody necessarily that buys me jewelry, so IBM's going to buy me jewelry.
So there's your.
I got some jewelry.
Anybody that would like to share stories about Michelle is more than welcome to. Just remember, she gets a chance to repeat stories about you too. So.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Anybody got stories? If not, I do.
Why don't you go first?
Well, I just want to say I truly appreciate everybody coming, especially, Frankie coming a long way. I've worked with Frankie a lot. Just been invaluable to me, and I think we all say this when we look at, somebody said today, inside the blue walls, right? Inside IBM, inside the blue walls. What keeps you there, or what was so exciting about the place, was the people, right? And the friends you make, and the friends that are still friends. I mean, I wouldn't have the money I have today if it wasn't for Max, who came down to my office and said, you will put this much in your TDSP starting on check 1, and you'll never see it, and one day it'll be nice. So, and then Max just a lot of times
Is it nice?
helped out.
Now?
Well,
He's still here, so it's not super nice.
it is. It probably could be nicer. I'm not very much of managing it, but at least it's there, so that's good. And then Karen was the very first person I worked with, and we were a part of the Thomas triplets. I mean, there was only one Smith in the entire building, but there were 3 Thomases, and all in one department. And
Sandy was the other one.
Yeah, Sandy Thomas was the other one. And of course, when I started there, the very first week, at the end of the very first week, they fired someone. My mom was like, "Where have you went?" Because there were issues with that. And so that was an interesting thing. I started, I do want to mention him, is with Steve Banfield. Steve Banfield was my mentor. He was the one who said, "Thou shalt not wear orange to IBM." I had that lecture within probably the first 2 weeks. Very valuable advice. Basically, the point was, build your reputation, then you can wear whatever you want to wear. But right now, don't wear orange. I said, well, okay. So that was interesting of a start there, but learned so much from Karen, more so than work. I just personally too, just always looked up to you and admired you, and I'm glad you're here. Yao Chen, right there in that group. This is my SLD crew. So if you have a problem with me, blame these 4. Probably me. Probably me. I was probably difficult with them, but working with Yao Chen and just still keep in touch with her. We have a ladies' lunch and we anchor it, and so we get together and just Yao Chen was a valuable addition to that group. Jerry started just about a couple weeks before I did in the group over there. I mean, with IBM more so, but
it was the middle of February, I think, and you came
in middle of March. Yeah, so about a month before. And so Jerry and I were sort of navigating our way together. And there was many a time I'd go talk to Jerry, and we would try to figure things out together. And so just those were some great times for me personally. I do want to mention people who were not with us, because this group wouldn't be complete without Paul Schoninger and Mark Silverman. They were 2 of that added the laughter to the group and the humor. And I don't know if you saw it, but there is a rose it was over on the cake that was given to us by Mark. Mark went on a trip to France. It says Pour Vous on it, to France. And so I've had that for some time and don't intend to depart with it. It's reminder.
Did you forgive Mark for introducing you to that three-letter word that you hated, MBS?
That is true.
Mark got all both.
Oh, MBS, yeah, MBS and I do not get along.
After all these years.
I've always said that if they put me back on an MBS project, I was walking out the door. That was so difficult, and so it was. But that's a good story there too. But yeah, and like I said, Paul and Park added a lot of fun. Lloyd was down there at the end of the hall, and just really interesting stories about Lloyd. Lloyd always had this air of just very much, I don't know. I guess being a new person, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's a very, very regimented. And I know, you had me fooled. And so I always thought, because he'd walk the halls, and I'm like,
you couldn't read him.
You couldn't read him, and that's what it was. You could not read him.
You didn't know whether you did something good or something bad.
And so my friend Tina Lemire, several of you all know her, she thought it would be funny to get me for my 21st birthday, probably, I think it was. So she decided to put a beach volleyball, scantily clad beach volleyball team poster in my right lane, and then come to ask me for a book. She made sure Lloyd was walking by the hall as I was doing this. So she comes in innocently, and I'm like, yeah, I got it. Can I borrow such and such a book? And I'm like, yeah, it's here in the right line behind me, So I open, I look, it's like, and of course Lloyd walks by, I'm like, oh. Well, of course Tina had worked for Lloyd. She knew he could take a joke. And I'm sure my face was every shade of red imaginable. So that's the funny story I remember. But also, Lloyd somehow thought that I would be a good house sitter for him. Because I did house sit for him, and then it got broken into. So I advise you not to have any house sit for
You
you.
didn't mention the reason you don't have any jewelry, you got it all stolen.
That is true too. Yeah. So anyway, it's just been Lloyd has been a great friend ever since that interesting start where it didn't know very well. Frankie is responsible for a lot of the plants around my house. She is, that was something I had the opportunity to come up and see her home here in Kentucky, and it was beautiful. Now I will say, Frankie, my favorite flower is the brown-eyed Susans. If y'all don't know, those are my favorite flowers. I love brown-eyed Susans. Yes, brown-eyed Susans. Love them. Go up to Frankie's. They are everywhere. They're just, and she's like, I just can't control them. They're just going wild. Come get some. Guess what flower will not grow around my house? Brown-eyed Susans. So Frankie, I think back to the days when I see yours in my mind, and mine, yeah. One year I thought they were weeds.
You take too good care of them. That's the problem.
Well, no, I thought they were weeds one time, so I pulled them all out. Now I know they're not weeds, but I think I have something that likes to eat them or something. Anyway, I can't get those to grow, but Frankie has been a very much valuable mentor, and just I am so honored that you came. I did ask if she was coming this way so that we could try to coordinate. So, but again, she didn't have to follow through, so I appreciate that. Mike puts up with me on a daily basis. I get stressed out about work. Randy, I might get Randy, he'll agree with that too. I get a little stressed out, I get a little aggravated, and so Mike and I, for y'all know, we play cards every day at lunch, and it's just it's very cathartic, or just very calming for me. It's funny how
most of the time.
That's true. That's true.
Our definition of calm is very unusual. Calm is not
Which you put in the same sentence.
But it's funny. I guess it's because it totally takes my mind away from all work. I'm sitting there trying to figure out, how it works, and and interestingly enough, we've done this for several years. And when you had your 25th not too long ago, we figured out that we've each won. I mean, it's like 50-50. It was amazing because he would probably say I win a lot more. And I say that, he pulls it off. It pulls off the victories.
You started keeping records because of it.
Yeah, we've had records for now, probably 6 years, I guess, goes back, of all these records. And I went through and looked, and 50% of the time, but it's called Spite and Malice. And so I don't know which one of us is more spiteful and which one's more malicious, but we do enjoy that. And so I am just very thankful to Mike for doing that and continuing to do that and just being a release valve, and then also too when he worked on Workload Pricer, we always knew it was right, didn't we? We knew it was going to be good. So we do miss him over there. Brandon, poor Brandon. Brandon has the unfortunate event of living near me. and also having a boat near us, and so as a result, he gets a lot of calls. Like me late one night going, my alarm's going off, can you please go over to my house and see what you can do? And he runs into police officers and fire people.
It looked like an episode of Cops. It looked like an episode of Cops.
Yeah, I mean, it was after one of the electrical storms here recently, and so I just, like I said, I couldn't make it.
Instead of going in, I had a flashlight, and I didn't want to just go be wandering around your house with a flashlight. After they'd called the cops and somebody broke in, I didn't want to get shot that night. So I was just like, I'll just wait in my car until somebody comes in.
And then when they did build my house, I told them I would be single, and so they put in an alarm system that will announce intruder alert. So it has a loudspeaker on the front of it.
It's very loud, I can confirm.
Brandon said he could hear it from the front of the subdivision when he pulled in that night. So it. So there's a lot of crazy stories like that. Like I said, Brandon has been a lifesaver, more so personally than professionally. We haven't really had the opportunity to work with each other, but he's helped me out tremendously and deserves to be here, and I appreciate that he's here. Bill, you got the best story, I think, personally, because you look at it and you go, maybe why is Bill here, right? He's not on Workload Pricer, didn't do really the debugger, Bill did the compiler, all right? Now, Lloyd, you couldn't read and was real quiet. And, it's kind of a bit hard to figure out. Probably on equal footing was Bill. Bill was Mr. Compiler. He, just everybody knew. Bill knew it, And I was working with Karen, working on the debugger and for PLX, and something wasn't working right. So Karen and she goes, well, looks like you found a compiler bug. And I don't know if it was Karen or Max, I'm not exactly sure, but it was like, you found a compiler bug. One of them said, you need to go tell Bill. To this day, I gotta believe Mark or Paul sent a message to Bill and told him I was coming. And I'm like, I gotta go tell Bill? Really? So I go over there. Bill and Jack Martin are having a heated discussion across their offices. One is in one office, they're in the other. Very heated I'm going, oh my God.
This is when we're in the trailers.
In the trailers. We're in the trailers, and so I'm walking over there to the trailers. And I come in and Bill, and it's hilarious. And like I said, somebody's told Bill, because this isn't Bill, if you know him. He was like, what do you want? And of course, he's just been giving Jack 3 shades. So anyway, I come in, I'm like, Mr. Carter, I just talked to you about an issue with the compiler. We don't have issues with our compiler. I sit down, and usually I'm a confident person, but boy, I wasn't that day. Because like I said, I sit down and I'm sitting here, and he's like, and looking at me, he goes, "Are you saying that that there's a bug in the compiler?" And so I go through it, explain it to him. I hadn't been there very long. I hadn't been with IBM very long at all. And he finally looks at me and he goes, "Well, looks like you found compiler bug. And then he goes, I wonder which one of my people messed this up. And anyway, I have to say, Bill, I walked out there that day going, I think I can do this job. I think I can do this job. If I could walk into Bill, explain that there's a compiler bug, and